Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel. I am sorry I had a lot of technical issues. Now I am back and live. So today we'll be having an interesting discussion, and I have a lot of interesting visitors, guests to say. So quickly, I'm going to introduce the subject. So 3 days ago, a friend of mine, Pastor Victor, made a comment, a post on Facebook asking how long should a woman, how long should a woman keep a man before she gives an answer? I mean, proposal. And then how long should a man wait for the proposal? So this sparked a lot of diverse uh, ideas on Facebook, and I decided to invite everybody to come on my show so that everybody would discuss, so that we would hear what everybody is saying. So yes, you made the call, I answered it. So now today we're going to be having some amazing guests. I am sorry, I'm trying to um get everybody across. So we are streaming live here on Facebook and on YouTube. So please kindly share, please share this to everybody, share this to every single person on your timeline. So quickly, without any further ado, let me invite my guest to join. So today we have amazing people here on the live. So while I'm waiting for my guest to join, I am your host, Linus Barker Joshua. I am privileged to be hosting this show. Um, um, yeah. So while I wait for the guest to join, you can go to Linus Barker TV on Facebook. Please make sure you like, you make sure you subscribe as well. So, um okay, so let's go and welcome our guest. Okay, who do we have here? Okay, my first guest is here. Hello, good evening, Ma.
Good evening, sir.
You are welcome. So, can you kindly introduce yourself, please, while we wait for other guests to join?
Okay, good evening, everybody. My name is Krista Victor Napa. I am a speaker and digital marketing consultant, a lover of God. That should have been first, but oh well. Yes, thank you.
Fantastic. We are so pleased to have you in the house. All right. More guests are joining. Hello. Good evening. You are welcome. Yeah. So, can you kindly introduce yourself for us, Doctor?
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Ayuba Jifisma Blessing. Can just call me Dr. Blessing.
Okay.
I'm I'm a Christian and also a youth corper working in Adama State Specialist Hospital in Yola, and it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. We are very happy to have you here as well. So while we wait for other guests to join, um, I am quite sure you know why we are here. We are here to discuss my friend will say to break tables. I am actually very happy to break a lot of tables this evening about sisters keeping brothers for too long to wait for an answer. Okay, I am super excited to be here. So while we are waiting for other guests to join, oh yes, the big man himself. You are welcome. Good evening, sir. Sorry, we can't hear you. Can you hear us? Oh my god, the network
Is it better now?
is not doing us good. Yes. This is better now. Yes, we can hear you now.
Oh, great. Good evening.
Yeah, so can you kindly quickly introduce yourself, please?
Okay, my name is Obaka.
Kani. I'm an agribusiness expert and I love talking about relationships.
Fantastic. So while we await for the last guest to join, um, you all know why we're here. We're here to discuss on the shelf life of proposal. And just I introduced earlier on, um, uh, a lot of brothers are actually agitated that sisters are keeping them for too long before answering their proposal. And a lot of ladies are saying, oh, you guys should take it easy on us. We need to take our time to think and then, to process the things. So for me, I discovered it on Victor's post on Facebook, and then it sparked a lot of opinions. And I asked them, okay, please, you people, I can host you on my podcast and let's discuss this. And that is why we are here to discuss. So we are still waiting for Shedrack to join. However, Dr. Blessing, right?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Okay, so tell us, can you just tell us what is your own idea of relationship?
Okay. Can I get more clarity on what
Okay, like what is your
is it
idea?
Christian relationship?
Christian relationship, of course. Oh my God. The network is not doing us good. Anyway, we will see how we're going to juggle this up. So you people, you guys, we can keep the conversation on. Tell us, how long do you think that a lady should keep a man before answering to his proposal? And guys, how long are you willing to wait until a lady responds to your question of proposal? So, um, okay, yes, we have Mrs. Nangba back. I think the network
Okay.
is not really doing us good.
As well.
Yeah, it is well. Das Carlos, you are welcome.
Salutations, sir.
Great. So can you quickly introduce yourself?
Okay. So my name is Shedrack Abutu. So I'm a pastor, I'm a researcher, primary leader to what I do.
Okay, you're welcome. Oh my God.
Thank
Yes.
you, sir.
I think the network is really not doing us good. But however, we're going to fire on. So yes, just as I said, I'm going to begin with you, Shedrack. No. Okay, yes, with you, Shedrack.
Me?
Yes. let's
Yeah,
go
meanwhile,
straight.
good evening, everyone. Yeah.
Let's go straight into it. Um, I don't know. Can you tell us if you are in a relationship or not?
Wahala deal. This has been kept. Okay, I'm not in a relationship.
Perfect. So, I
Yes.
would really love to hear your own side of the story. So we'll just go straight into it. Mr. Obaka, of course, I know that you're married. Um, can you begin this conversation? Um, I mean, at what point should a man tell himself that, okay, I need to get married? At what point does a man get to and say, okay, I want to marry? I am starting this way in a very hot note so that we can progress on that. So, at what age? What should a man have? What should a man be doing before he says, okay, let me go and approach a lady? Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. For me, I would
Respond to that question from two perspectives. One is
the intangibles.
which is um, if God cannot fulfill
Mm,
Your life, you cannot fulfill.
His divine purpose for your life, and if you've not gotten to that point where God is exerting His authority or can exert His authority over your life, right? I don't think you're fit for marriage. That's one, and this is to whether a woman or to the
And effectively,
lead.
So
hoo, 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 hoo.
that's all.
Yeah, the network is. Okay. Okay. Yes. Um, Mrs. Nangba, I think you can answer it the other way around. At what point should a lady consider to accept a man's proposal? What would she have known? What does she have? At what point?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Thank you very much again. Good evening, everyone. Again. Um, I think for one to know that she's ready, because I'm speaking from the women's perspective now.
Yeah.
For one to know that she's ready for marriage, she must have had some things in place. The first thing to know before accepting a proposal. Now we're speaking from the kingdom perspective, right? Or should
Yeah.
I
Yes.
generalize?
Yes. Sure. Sure. Kingdom perspective.
Okay. You must first have a walk with God. It's the first way to know, because every relationship has its ups and downs. If you know that you're going to accept a proposal, it means you're ready to be in a relationship, right? And it means to go into marriage, because I don't advise people to just go into relationships without marriage in view.
Mm,
So if you are willing to go into a
I'm
relationship,
not
it requires a lot from you. It will require your mental faculty, to require your spirituality. So
mm,
I think for one to accept a proposal, the person must be first secure in his place with God, in her
mm,
place with God. Yes, since I'm speaking for ladies. Then secondly, you must be mature.
mm.
Um, it's called a relationship for a reason. It
Yeah.
means it's not for children.
Yeah.
It's for mature people. It's for adults.
Mm.
So I think some of these things should be put in place first. We'll go further as time goes on, as we go deeper into the discussion. We touch some other areas, but for now, work with God, maturity.
Fantastic. This is very fantastic. So yeah, she should be ready. She should have a valid relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ. And then this is great. Yes, we already have comments on Facebook already from Dorcas Kaderi. She's saying from both the man and the woman, you should be spiritually, financially, psychologically healthy. The comments are rolling already. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So please, if you're on Facebook or on YouTube, you want to send us a comment, please feel free to type in your comment or your question. Yes, Mr. Obaka, we are glad to have you back. I understand the network is a bit frustrating. So yes, you can continue from where you stopped. Mrs. Nangba just spoke from the lady's perspective, so you can continue, sir.
All right, thank you very much. So I think just to repeat what I said earlier, you need to be fully under the authority of God before you decide that yes, it's time. You need to find that point where yes, it's time for me to think about marriage and quit this.
You know that God exerts his authority over your life. And then the tangibles, even that scripture that says, a man shall leave. Leave.
Yes, we are glad to have Mercy back. You are welcome, Mercy. She's one of our guests. You are welcome.
Thank you so much.
I understand the network is a bit challenging. Yes, please continue, sir. Please continue. Oh my God. Okay. Shadrach, yes, let's move to you.
Okay. Yeah.
You're a teacher of the word of the Lord. The Didaskalos himself. So tell us, or just continue from where he stopped. What should a man have before he can go and approach a lady, a kingdom brother?
Well, I think to approach a lady, the male should be a man. That's what I think. The male should be a man first to be able to approach a lady. So if we say, for me, I see it in terms of being stable. Being stable. You should be stable spiritually, you should be stable materially, you should be stable financially, you should be stable psychologically. Because I think what makes a man is stability. That's what the man basically, what makes him a leader. His ability to bring stability. So for me, the male, because let's separate males from men actually. Yeah, so for the male to get married, he should become a man. That's what I'll say. And that's stability. I think from stability, other things can flow in, like responsibility, decision making, the ability to dare, the ability to see, to have that vision, to bring direction, and every other thing. And if you are not stable, of course, for example, as believers, the Bible tells us that an unstable person cannot receive anything from God. For example, he cannot. So I feel once a male is stable, which is now a man, then he's ready to get married, irrespective of his age. Irrespective of his age.
Fantastic. I'm already getting hot, because we're going to go to the main topic of discussion. Yes, Mercy, we've not heard your voice. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Do you mind me asking if you are in a relationship or not before we fire on?
Yeah, you can ask.
Okay, so please, can you kindly tell us if you're in a relationship or not yet?
Um, I'm in a relationship, a serious one at that.
Fantastic. So, I want to ask you straight ahead. How long did it take
Okay.
you to say yes to the blessed brother?
Well, not up to a week. When I met him, I had the knowing that he was the one. So I needed more confirmations and I needed to tell spiritual heads to help me pray along. But within a week, I already knew he was the one. So I didn't take much time. I gave him an answer within a week. That's what.
Hmm.
That's right.
Why am I already feeling so bad right now? Okay, Mrs. Nangba.
Okay.
Mrs. Nangba,
Sir.
how long do you think a lady should keep a
No,
man
how long did
waiting?
she? How long did she
No, no, no,
give her
no,
husband?
no, 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 no. I'm not asking that yet. But how long?
Okay.
Okay, yes. I think that's a good question. How long did you keep your husband waiting?
Okay. I kept him for a month. 1 month. Yes.
Hmm. So I want to ask you, why do you
Okay.
think that some ladies keep men for long? When I mean long, I mean a year, one full calendar year. Some
Okay.
6 months, some 7 months. So why do you think so?
Okay. There are several reasons, but I will start with a few.
Okay.
Now, for ladies who genuinely want to be in a relationship, I think one of the major reasons why they keep brothers for long is their level of work with God.
Mm,
Now, what it takes one believer 2 hours to hear from God, it takes another believer 2 weeks to hear from God. So if you can't assume that everybody's spiritual level is the same and
mm,
everybody's relationship with God is mature to a
mm,
very large extent.
mm.
Um, when I wanted to say, okay, I think I'll use myself as an example. When I wanted to
Yes.
say yes to my husband, I had to go on a dry fast. Now, not everybody will go on a dry fast just to get an answer from God, right? But I had to go on, I think it was 1 day dry fast I had to do. But there are some people that will have to do at least 2 weeks fasted to hear something from God. So, very major factor that we should consider. Brothers are usually they're like, how long does it take you to hear God, and all of that. Sometimes you forget that this sister might not have the level of maturity and intensity you have with God
Yeah.
yet. So that's one of the major reasons I know that makes sisters take time in hearing God, because some sisters genuinely want to give you an answer, but they have nothing. They've not heard anything from God. Secondly is fear. I think a lot of sisters are scared. They may not know how to put it in words that, okay, this is why I don't want to answer you. But some of them are really scared of the future. Everybody has the fear, but I think men know how to handle their fears, or some sisters who have grown over time know how to handle their fears more than
Yeah.
others. But a lot of sisters are scared of the future. They don't know how it's going to play out with this person, how it's going to end up. I mean, what if this person is not the same person I was dating at home? So I think fear also is one of the major challenges that sisters are having, that is making them delay their answer. Apart from the fact that we were taught that if you delay, it makes you more valuable. I don't know where that theory came from, but um,
Orthodox
fear,
church.
fear is fear is a major challenge. Fear is a major challenge. Now, the third thing I feel like sisters that makes sisters delay, this one is very important. Some red flags from brothers.
Mm,
Some red flags from brothers. Um, some brothers may not know, especially Christian brother. You may not know the impression you give every time you're on a call with that sister. You may not know how she sees you. You may not know the things she's seeing as she's or hearing as she's listening to you. You can imagine. I think the last meeting we had, I was talking to someone to them. I said, "You're talking to someone, and the person is going through certain things on the phone. You can hear the person's sad countenance from the call you're making, and you can't even pick it. You're not even emotionally intelligent enough to pick it. Those things, those little characteristics, those little red flags. Someone you since you were trying to woo a lady, you have never for once, her birthday came, even with charge card you didn't send. No, some of those things are, sisters know what I'm talking about. Those little red flags can, even if she hears God and God says you are the one, if she hears it over and over again, it's left for her to either say yes or no. So some of those things are the things that I feel like keep sisters from answering very quickly. Brothers will not know. Of course, you are the one giving it. You're not the one receiving it, so you don't really know how it goes down here. So I think for now, I'll just stop at those ones.
Okay.
Continue.
Dr. Blessing.
Yeah.
Why do
Yes,
you
sir.
think sisters take long to answer a proposal from a man?
Okay, thank you so much. My apologies. The network was fluctuating.
Yeah.
I would say that to add to what my sister was saying, I would say, or to emphasize, to further emphasize what she was saying,
Yeah.
many Christian brothers actually are not so emotionally intelligent.
Mm.
Um, so they are building their spirit, they are kabashing, they are trying to know what their purpose is, but they are not building the emotional component of their life. And it tells on us, Christians, that um I'll give an example. There was this brother um, named Michael that would call me. We were in the same fellowship. He would call me around 11 p.m. Who calls somebody around 11 p.m.? And wake me up from sleep, ask me, have you eaten? Then I'll say, yes. Then you say, I should find something to eat. And that's the end of the conversation. And it happens over and over and over again. And this is someone we're in fellowship with. And there were a number of things that didn't go down. If the guy, and thank God he didn't even come out plain to ask me out at the end of it. But that kind of behavior was just not it. And this is someone I would meet during the day, and we go to buy his food, I'll buy my own food, you know. And this was someone who was earning in millions at some point. So that kind of person was just not so emotionally intelligent. That's what I would say. It makes things difficult for sisters. Secondly, it could be the sister. The sister herself, um, maybe this person feel like it is time for her to go into a relationship. So it doesn't even matter if the guy is ready and the guy is feeling, the guy is doing all the right things. But the sister will just not feel ready.
Mm.
Um, or it may not just be the season for her for a relationship. But the time I had a relationship back from the Lord, it was a 2 year relationship. In that season, anything to come, they not get it. At most, get a wait. Please just wait. It is not So those could be reasons why sisters take their time. Thank you. Thank you, Linus. I'm done for now. Thank you.
His mic. Sir, your mic is muted.
Yeah,
I'm
can't hear
muted.
you.
Sorry, I am sorry. So please, for the guest, if you are not talking, please just mute your mic so that we don't get the noise. Fantastic. The brothers are getting really agitated right now. Some are texting me on my WhatsApp. Please text on Facebook or on YouTube. But Dr. Blessing said something that caught my attention, that brothers are not emotionally sensitive. Like it was like a stray bullet to my chest. I'm not saying I am not emotionally sensitive, but I think it is a serious thing. And yes, Mrs. Nangba said fear. And she said that brothers, we are building our spirit, but then our emotions were not all of that. I couldn't agree less. It is so true. Mr. Obaka, tell us, how long should a man wait for a response before changing his direction?
Doing all the homework, very much
As long as
and this is what I said is for a woman to decide to marry you.
Oh my goodness.
I'm telling you, the one praying and getting.
We couldn't hear you. We could not hear you at some point. Oh my goodness. Yes, now we can hear you.
Okay, it's better now, right? All right. So I said that there are a couple of things that one which is fear.
Oh my God. Wow. We can't hear you. It is breaking too much. Okay. Brothers are really getting agitated, friends. Like, so please, if you're watching from Facebook, please just like and share. Please don't wait, just like and share. And on YouTube, please, let's disrupt the system. Please, you should like, share, and share. So from YouTube, we're having some interesting comments. Someone on YouTube is saying that the moment
we're having some interesting comments.
that the moment I ask her is either a yes or a no. If not, I am gone. Someone is saying that have you eaten by 12? Oh, wrong now.
Someone is saying that have you eaten by wrong now?
Did ask Carlos. How long should a brother wait before he moves?
My goodness. Did I
Okay, I think I will suggest a sister comes in first, and then because they are likely to pick up on us from
No.
any perspective.
No, just go ahead.
Okay.
Just go
All
ahead.
I was having this conversation with a sister this afternoon, and for me, seriously speaking, I would not want to give a time frame premised on the fact that, like Mrs. Victor said, people tend to be at different levels of spiritual maturity. But I think, in all fairness and being sincere with oneself, for me, I think 2 months is okay. 2 months is okay. And let me give you why I believe 2 months is okay. If you seek God for 40 days, even if God doesn't speak to you, you will see something. Another thing is that, okay, let me just tell us the conversation I had quickly today. So I was trying to establish, and I told the lady, I said, all the proposals in the Bible, all of them didn't pass more than 1 week, starting from Isaac to Jacob to Moses to David and Abigail, David and Saul's daughter, Naomi, Ruth and Boaz, Mary and the mother of Jesus. See, so she said that no, that we are not living in Bible times. But I think 2 months is okay. If you are sincere before God, I don't think God should delay to give you perspective. So for me, I believe brothers, if they wait for 2 months, is fine. And the truth is, Jesus is coming soon. Let's know that.
Okay.
But to be fair, 2 months is okay for me. It's
Okay.
fair.
Okay. Okay. Messi, back to you. You've heard Shadrach. He's saying 2 months is okay. So Messi, tell us, what do you think about what he just said?
Well, I tend to agree a bit with what he said, because these persons, as Ms. Nangban said, it takes longer period for them to figure out the voice of God concerning the life partner. But if the sister keeps calling, keeps accepting gifts from him, she makes him feel like, okay, this is going to be a yes. His hopes are high. Then at the end of the day, she tells him a no. Automatically, it's as good as her not keeping him for 2 months. It's of no use. So most of the time were moved by what we see at times. For instance, if a lady see a guy that asks her out and she doesn't like him, like attend to him at all, and she might just tell him, okay, let me pray about it, but deep down she's not praying about it. So if she keeps it for that period and she just collects his car, or she's like that around. So I feel if you don't like the brother, you don't see a future with him, don't keep him for 2 months. Just go straight. And I've heard what you said, oh, me and you can't happen. Let's go our separate ways. But you don't keep him, you pick his calls, you read his messages, you reply them, and then he begins to feel, okay, yes, sister likes me. There's a green light around this place. So the 2 months is okay. You really want to pray, and then you see a future. But let's not be too spiritual about this thing. There is then using your reasoning, your senses that God gives you at some point in choosing a life partner. I'm not saying you go with your senses, but if you don't like something and it comes your way, you don't keep him and just stress him. Because I've seen most sisters do this most of the time.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. I have a question for would hear from Mrs. Nangba, then Dr. Blessing. Relationship or marriage, as it were, that a man is going to lead you. If a man comes to you and says, the Lord said I should come to you. In fact, I don't like the concept of meeting a girl and say, okay, God told me you are my wife. I don't like it. I have never done it, but I think I did it somehow. But the concept of the Lord said I should marry you. Now, if you one day when we get married, you will trust my discernment in hearing God, why don't you trust that the Lord told me to come and meet you?
Okay. Thank you. I think the last part of your question was a bit confusing for me, but let's go to the part A. You said if someone comes to you and says, the Lord said, I think they've addressed that issue over and over and over again, that brothers should stop doing that. Stop doing that, for God's sake. I mean, you don't just walk up to a person and say, the Lord said that you're my wife. What if the person is in a relationship? I've seen situations where the brother walked up to the sister and said, the Lord said, and she was in a relationship, in fact, engaged. So, yeah, it happens. So the best place to start from, the second part of your question, can you go over it again so I can
Okay.
be clear?
Okay, good. So this is it. Let's say, for example, I put a proposal to a lady. I am convinced,
Okay.
not necessarily telling you the Lord said, but I am convinced. And you ask, and the lady asked me, like, are you sure God is leading you to me? I said, yes, I am sure. This is my reasons. This is my reasons. I've gotten confirmation from one or two people about this thing. So I'm not just meeting you to just put a proposal to you. So if later, peradventure, I get married to this particular sister, she's going to trust my discernment in making decision for us as a couple, right? So why would you not trust the initial discernment that the Lord had shown me in my heart that this particular lady is supposed to be my life partner? I don't know if it is clear.
Okay, I think it's clearer now.
Yeah.
You moved into the future. Like if eventually you get married, you're going to now trust the person's discernment, right?
Yes.
Now, the stage from relationship to courtship to marriage, it takes time, and trust is built over time. For someone you just want to go into a relationship with, I don't think you trust his discernment as much as you trust your husband's discernment, because over time it has proven to be true. So if you want to, for brothers that want to go into relationships with sisters, I think the first place to start is friendship. Friendship too takes time. So with that time you have for friendship before relationship, it also builds a level of trust. So that when you come and pop the question, it's not like you're a stranger just coming from, you just came from one, God knows where. Just pop the question. Why? So I think time is a factor. Time is a factor when it comes to trust. Time is a very major factor. So yeah, friendship. Then when we now get to relationship, I can begin to trust your discernment. Can't trust your immediate discernment just because you said God said. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's it.
Brothers are really getting agitated, believe me. Brothers are really getting agitated. So let's take the comment from YouTube. Everybody is laughing at Didas Carlos that he said Jesus is coming soon. Don't keep a brother waiting. Uh, okay. All the rest people are just greeting everybody here. Let me share a quick story before I ask the next question. My own dad, um, before he got married to my mom, let me just share the very quick story. Then I would ask the question. So he was a highly prophetic brother in his days. And 10 years before he met my mom, they had already given a prophecy to him. They gave him her name and they gave him her school. 10 years later, he went to the school, he met her, he saw her, and then, I mean, as he just saw her, definitely the thing leaped from his heart. He went straight to her. He said, my name is so and so. I have come to marry you. And she was like, hold on, who are you? I don't even know you. This is the first time I'm meeting you and you're telling me you're here to marry me. Fast forward, what ladies would do, she said, no, let me go and talk to my parent. I don't even know you. Who are you? Then they started talking. And for the fact that I'm speaking now, it means that they got married They had us. I am now here. The question I want to ask sisters is, let's be very, very Dr. Blessing, are you with us? Great. Your mic is mute. Your mic is mute. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, we can hear you now. So, my question is, sometimes is it that sisters are I know sisters are always discerning when it comes to a man. Every sister has a picture of a man that she has in her mind, tall, dark, and
Yes,
handsome. Um, a sister has already figured out, okay, he should have this, he should have this, he should have that. Do you think when a lady desires those kind of things, is she being materialistic or she's trying to be realistic?
okay, sir. Sir, can you hear me? Am I
Yes, we
audible?
can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much. We don't, we don't prepare my answers for other questions because they ask me another question. Fine. Okay. I don't think it's materialistic to have what you desire in a man. I don't think so. I think that we all have our taste. We all have what we desire in different in a relationship and in a marriage that we would be considering marriage. But what I have a problem with is when those desires are, whenever those desires are not keeping God's will. Many of us, we don't want to just lay down these desires. So I for one, I like a guy who's simple. I love him. I've been praying to God for a day. I'll
A guy with
miraculously
what?
have him.
Sorry, you said you like a guy with
Hello,
what? Yes,
with dimple. Yes, I love
dimples.
dimple. I love that food. Yes, I do. But if the Lord is bringing a man that doesn't have this, and I am sure it's God's will, and if he doesn't have money, he doesn't have a car or something, I should be able to just lay down this thing before the Lord because I trust him, you know. So many of us ladies, we have our own. We are looking for the glamorous people. In fact, um, I think and I know that our desires change so that if what I liked in a guy was a tall, dark, and handsome, and there was a short, quite plumpy guy who now has money, has anointing, has teaching grace upon him, all of a sudden, for many ladies, all of a sudden, the thing begin to shift. They will now begin to say that the, it's not about the outward appearance, it's about what the person carries. And it's obvious because many of these men of God, the ladies they ask out, they usually say yes. Meanwhile, it's possible that those people had what they had their own description of who is sex, you know. So I actually think that it's okay to have those what we define as a spec, but that shouldn't blind you in the face of God's will. And that's why sincerity is all that is needed, or it's a major thing that is needed in making a decision. So you go before God with the definition of your spec. Oh God, this is what I want. But concerning this that doesn't look like it, what are you saying? And I think that that's one thing that many of us Christian sisters need to do. Because many of the Christian sisters around, if they tell a guy they are praying about, they are most likely not praying about. They are just asking other people's opinion. which is wrong. And that's why I keep saying that if there's 1 week of sincere prayer to God concerning a matter, it is more than enough for a lady to find out God's will. But if we are to stress it, we stress it to 3. That's my own. Thank you so much.
Okay, yes, Mr. Obaka, I think we now have you back. Yes, I will have to come back to hear your own opinion. How long should a man wait for an answer from a sister? Because believe you me, it is frustrating. If I'm going to share the stories that I have heard and the ones my eye have seen, I know people that have been kept for 1 full calendar year. So, sir, you're married. To start with, how long did your wife kept you? And then you continue from there, sir.
Thank you very much for my network. So, me at the time, about my wife
Got to
and it was around 2014 that I told.
Oh my God.
Friends. We began as friends, we just friends like that, really. I want to make a point here. How can God tell you about your wife?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Where you need to know that
The network, it's really, 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 really. Oh my God. Yes. Hello, sir. Okay. Shadrach. Um. So tell me,
is it my
if a sister, yes, your audio is breaking, sir. Okay. So Shadrach, let me redirect that question to you. A lady has kept a brother for 1 whole calendar year. What is your take on it, Shadrach?
Thank you. Um, I'll come this way. The truth is that for me, why I am generally against the whole delay stuff is that, you know, having interact as a pastor, having interacted with countless of ladies, both the ones in my ministry and all of that, I know there's that mindset of I don't want to sound cheap. The longer, the better, and all of that. But I think it's not true. It's not true. I've had to go through research on that, like established research on that. Um, for me, I first said 2 months, Abby. So once it is exceeding 2 months, I think your prayers need to begin to change as the brother. What you should now begin to ask God is, you should now begin to ask God, come on, are you still in this thing? Should I wait? Because ultimately, I think for the brother who is spiritual, I think, of course, God will lead you. But you see, not all brothers are also spiritual. So if you are a nominal Christian hearing me, your own application is quite different. Your own is risk. You are a risk taker. So I think from that 2 months time frame, the brother should begin to inquire in his prayers whether to wait. Because the truth is, anything that makes her not to, let me say this, sir. I think even if a lady wants to delay you, I think if a lady is into you, she would begin to give you signals. she would begin to give you signals. That I'm sure of. So if in a case where you are not also seeing the signals, because it's possible, some of them, let me be sincere as a pastor, I know so there are people that have reached out to me with their cases and they are waiting for me to give them direction, and I am like the delay. So there's that possibility that the lady might have spoken to her pastor and the pastor doesn't yet have time to address it. That's a different scenario. You get, I think you should be patient enough for her to hear from her spiritual authorities, which also you should be looking at the fact whether she's putting pressure to get a response from her spiritual authority, which still comes down to the interest we are talking about. Because if the lady wants to take 6 months, if she will tell you yes, you will know, because your conversations will change. She will flow better with you. You'll notice that at that period, sometimes if you don't call her, maybe you just take a day or two, you don't call her, she will remind you that you are not yet dating, quite okay officially, but you will see the signs. At that point, I think you should wait. But you see, when you are not seeing, see, this thing is not, if you don't see the rain, you don't see the sunshine, the valley shall be full with water. No, 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 that's not, don't apply that scripture here. So if you are not seeing those things, you should begin to consider. That's the best advice I'll give. I'm using myself as an example because my first relationship, I waited a solid 8 to 9 months. It didn't still work out. So this thing, I waited for years, for 8 to 9 months. And sincerely speaking, I'll say something. That 8 to 9 months, there was no communication really flowing. So had I picked that sign, I would have known that this thing will still crash. You get? Because I feel communication is so important that it should start before the relationship, not during the relationship. So that's my perspective. I think I'll stop here. Thank you.
These sisters do not fear anointing. How could you keep a man of God for 8 months and at the end? Okay. I know of a story. A sister kept a brother. Mrs. Nangba, you'd answer this, but I know that a lady kept a brother for 1 year, and the brother was so sure that this is the will of God. The brother was so sure that this is the will of God. And days went to weeks, weeks went to months, months went to exactly a calendar year before the lady now gave a response. But the brother remained dear. But listening from Shedrach, so my question is it that God will change his mind about the sister if she's taking too long, or the man is impatient to wait, according to what Shedrach has just said?
Okay, thank you again, Didaskalos. Okay, what is the need for conviction if you can't wait? If you said you have a conviction about something, you said you believe. I think conviction is stronger than belief. If you say you have a conviction about something, about somebody, that the person is who God is saying you're going to spend the rest of your life with, I don't think, I personally think that you can wait. If the person is not giving, like he said, he talked about, some green lights and some, things that the lady will be doing that will make you know that, okay, she's interested. But there are some ladies that have been taught to be strong. They have been raised by people that taught them to be strong. And so they know how to hide emotions, they know how to hide feelings, they know how to hide, generally emotions and what they feel part time. They have learned the act of doing it, especially those that have come from previous relationships that did not really end well. there are those that have come from relationships that they answered on time that did not end well. So they might consider it as a factor, maybe because I answered too early. That's why the guy did not take me seriously. But I think that if you want to, if you say you believe that God has told you that this is the person, there are many factors that can make the lady not show you what not answer you on time, like I said initially. But I think conviction is very important. Conviction is very important. We say this one calendar year, there are people that have waited for 4 years. 4 years. There are people that have waited for 5 years and they ended up getting married. There are also people that they answered in a week that the relationship did not work. So I think conviction is very important. If you say you know that this person is from God, please, by all means, you can wait. Except, like you said, you're seeing, things that I know you have an answer for this, but okay. So that's my opinion. That's my opinion. And there's grace for, some people have the grace to wait longer than others. So yeah. That's it.
Okay, Didascalos, before you respond, let's hear from Messi. I think Messi wants to say, just hold on. Just hold on. Messi wants to respond to that. Yes, Messi.
Okay, pertaining what Ms. Duncan said, I totally agree with the conviction aspect. Can you hear me?
Mrs. Yes, we can hear you. She is Mrs.
Okay, sorry, Mrs. Nangba. On what she said regarding conviction, I totally agree with that, because your conviction is something that will keep you going. Relationship and marriage is something that works by faith. So you need to hold something to hold on to, that you can always go back, and when you have issues or the storms are rising, you can always go back to where you get your conviction from, and answers will come out from that same place. So her keeping brother for a very long time, I don't agree to that. I don't support that, because I feel there's some kind of maturities that someone that wants to go into a relationship should possess, and it takes one doing what you want factors, because at times some sisters don't even know what they want. They can see this one, it's okay, I like this one, I like this one. So it's when you know what you want, it saves you and saves the brother just waiting. The brother has plans for his life, whether short term or long term, but he has something he wants to do with his life. So when you keep him for long, it's not good for him. If you guys end up together, if you don't end up together, in the future, he might feel as if he wasted his time, and it will not be a good record for you, the sister. That's one thing that you should consider. So you should know what you want first as a sister, and always get your conviction right with God. I think knowing what you want and conviction will help you get your answer better, help you not keep brothers unnecessarily. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, Shadrach, let's hear you.
So mine, it's not really a counter, as it were. It's a question I want to ask. It is until recently that I came to find out that the most complicated aspect of younger believers is when they want to marry. That decision is stronger than finding purpose. Like, people can find purpose easier. See, I've seen people that had God, saw visions. See, let me give an instance. There was one of our bishops then in Kefi. I'll use this. It's a question I want to ask. He was seeing vision on a sister. See, he came to me. He told my friend Pastor Chris that, come on, he has seen her in his visions. God has spoken to him. But you know what? We knew there was a brother that lady was eyeing. Unfortunately for the brother, that brother has more stature than him. So we knew that lady naturally will tell to the brother. So we wanted to politically tell him that, see, Baba, this hearing way you dey hear, make you like calm down. check it again. No, but he insisted. He has seen it. He's convinced. Baba took the lady for lunch many times. And when he asked her, the lady said no. She said no.
So your question.
So is it that he didn't hear God? Was he not hearing God? That's what I want to throw to you people.
Mrs. Nangba, let's hear you on that quickly. Okay.
My God. Okay. Let me answer you with a story. There was also a sister who was hearing God, about a brother, and at the end of the day, long story short, it didn't work out. So it's possible that he heard God. It's possible, but then again, were they in a relationship before he heard God? Because if he heard God, it's true. It's possible he heard God, but you're dealing with a human being here. Whether you heard God or not, you're dealing with a human being. You're dealing with a human being who has personal desires. You're dealing with a human being who has personal desires, likes, wants, needs, and all of those things. Now, if she says no, it's because she too, it's possible she has not heard God about you. And like Sister Mercy said, she said, we as ladies, we have the things we want too physically, and the things we want we have the things we want from guys, we have the things we want from brothers. It's possible that he heard God. It's very true. We're not doubting the fact that he heard God. But this sister in question was not willing to hear God about him because she had someone she liked already. So even if you hear God, it's not a guarantee that your relationship, that it's going to work out as a relationship. It's never a guarantee. I've even seen two people that heard God. The two of them heard God, but it did not work out. So many factors play out when it comes to these things. Sometimes it's beyond just hearing God. So
Okay.
it's possible, that
Okay.
he heard God, but she was not interested. So
Okay.
Okay, to add something.
Yes.
All right, so I think that we need to even start by questioning what a lot of brothers say when they say, I heard God. Because if you are in an assembly or in a church, you will notice pastors that the very, very pretty, obviously beautiful lady have more brothers hearing God concerning them than the people who have or who have obvious or are obviously very beautiful or fair to look upon. So if a guy comes to tell me that God said I'm his wife, I will not take it. I will not really take him seriously.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Network. Why?
Or what? So I think I think that I think that I need to even be sure the Lord is all the sure to clear it is right whether it's actually the Lord or not. Thank you.
Brothers, don't text me on my WhatsApp. Text on YouTube or Facebook so that everybody can see your comment. Before we
Well,
continue,
sorry, I said, can you? I think we can take their messages or your WhatsApp. There are sensitive issues, so some of these guys are hiding their questions. May wahala no boss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, but first of all, let me take from the YouTube. So, from the YouTube, uh, Otokpa Juliet, sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name well. She says that keeping a man for 1 year, that is not correct at all. She also said the lady is most likely not interested in that brother. She's probably indulging him and keeping him around because of some benefit that comes with his presence.
Plan
And she
B.
finally said that, and she finally said the signs are everywhere. From my WhatsApp, someone is saying, "Sir, these ladies do not understand the pressure in waiting to get an answer. For example, I asked this girl out and she said she wants to pray. Deep down my heart, I know she's not praying. She went to ask her friends, and her friends rated me. Her friends said I didn't have enough money. Besides, I am not presentable. Me, I know I gallant. So now, in that aspect, please, Abe, help me ask these our sisters, waiting man should do. Mrs. Nangba.
Why are you always asking me questions like this? Okay. Okay. Now we're talking about serious ladies here. We're not just talking about people who are playing around with their lives. We're talking about people who are serious. For the pressure for a serious person that wants to settle down, a serious lady that wants to settle down, while the pressure is on the men, the pressure is also on the women. It's an equal thing, because while you have plans and you have things you want to do with your life, they also have plans for their lives. Now, I'm not saying everybody should keep, all the sisters should keep brothers for 1 year, but I'm saying there's so many factors that can make that 1 year. And you have no idea how hard it is for the sisters, especially when she really wants to say yes to you, but so many factors are playing out. Like Didaskalo said, sometimes you give a spiritual authority, before he answers you, it's like 3 months. That's a possibility. Sometimes you have your convictions, then you lose them, then you have them again, then you lose them, then you have them again. It's a lot of pressure for sisters as well. It's a lot of pressure. Now, I'm not supporting, like I said, I'm not really supporting the 1 year thing, because it can also make brothers lose interest in the whole thing. However, let's consider that there are so many factors too. And I think there's something I really want to say to brothers. When you are saying you're under pressure, when you say you don't have time, when you say you also need to consider that a sister that is serious too also faces the same things you are facing. In fact, she's even under more pressure, because in society, if they say they want to pray for people that want to get married, it's sisters they pray for the most. Have you ever seen them say, if you want a wife, come out? Hardly. But if you want a husband, there's the altar call for sisters all the time. So it's both ways. The pressure is both ways. In fact, it's higher for sisters than brothers. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Obaka, fine. I really hope that this network would really allow you. I mean, we've not heard from the wealth of your wisdom. So yes, please tell me, brothers, sisters keeping brothers waiting. I think you already know what we're talking about. So yes, let's hear your own view, sir.
All right, thank you very much. I think apologies for the network once again. So what I think basically is that apart from a brother knowing that this is God's will for him, he needs to know the timing too, because there is a lot that about right, because if the timing is not right, you might meet the lady at a point where it's not even ideal for you to say anything about marriage around her. So understanding the timing is key, and then you can be directed, you can be led to know that timing. After I knew about my wife, I didn't just go boom, thus says the Lord, and you have 7 days. After which, if you don't respond, I'm moving on, right? So there is a lot about the timing. There's a lot about understanding. You also even need to have confirmations about this. There's a process to it. After knowing and that this is who the person is, please ask further questions, like do more research, and also begin to engage the sister, begin to relate with her. First of all, begin to have that cordial relationship that, before you even start shooting your shot. And then some brothers don't know how to shoot shots. You call a girl and tell her about marriage. How? You just call on the phone and say you are shooting shots. It's wrong. Like you need to be very, very, very. I wanted to use the word professional. Be very professional about it. There's professionalism to this thing. So you need to like take your time. Priska talked about emotional intelligence. It's very key on such matters, right? And then again, you need to understand that it's not about the girl going to pray and then God telling her about, she has fears. There are also other things. She needs to know whether she can submit to you, to your leadership, right? She needs to understand that, before I commit to this, before I say yes to this brother, I know, yes, there's that time where you need to begin to build the relationship, grow yourselves and all of that, right? Build your capacity on some areas that you're lacking in and all of that. Yes, after you've been able. But again, the sister needs time. Apart from she praying and hearing God. Yes, practical example, my wife had, she knew about me before I spoke to her about marriage. And then the way our own happened was that I did not just go and say, thus says the Lord. We're just having a conversation. Just one evening, we're just talking and sharing experiences. We're sharing encounters and all of that. And then we're at this point where everybody just knew that we had to let the cat out of the bag. Like, it's true that there's something there's a connection between us. And she was like, yes, that she has confirmations about it, that there is a connection. And then we had to submit it to a spiritual authority. And then the spiritual authority we submitted to, I think it didn't take a week, no more than a week. And he came back to us and said, there's God in this thing. I was like, oh, wow, glory to God. And then from there, we started building, and all of the other conversations started falling into place. We started having every kind of talk, finance and all of that, submitted to that spiritual authority who went. It got to the point where, yes, we knew that we needed to start going for counseling, marriage counseling and all of that or make everything official. But there is that point where you need to be. So about the timing, to be honest, there are a couple of factors, right? But for me, this is a journey, right, that will last years and years and years, like forever. Yeah. If you want to go into ministry, some persons, God will tell them, wait for a year, wait for me, take root first. Is it marriage that you want to enter without understanding some things? You want to go in because of you are charged up, you have received marching orders from God to take down nations and cities. That woman you want to marry is also a city that you need to conquer. You need time with her. You need her also to after hearing God, a couple of it. Some person, if a lady should hear God and come back to you in 2 days, please tell her to go back and check again. That some may just come and tell you yes. You don't know what's on their heart. Maybe they are desperate. Maybe they've been waiting for marriage. Maybe they're just speaking out of emotions. Maybe the lady was even crushing on you, if there's that. Yes. But you need them to have that time. They need to look at family. They need to also look at your life, whose authority you're submitted to, Are they aligned with your kind of person, your belief, what's your understanding about Christianity, about Christ? It's a whole lot that they need to understand. So it's not every lady you just jump at, and then the next thing is she gives you a yes, right? And then after that yes is marriage. But I think the ladies need time, and as much time as possible. I don't believe in let's stretch. We need to strike a balance on this. I don't want to show that I'm cheap or I'm easy to get. As Christians, that should not even come into play, right? The man should be patient. Love is patience. The man should be patient with the lady. If I come and tell you, okay, yes, I think I have confirmed that it is God's will for us to marry, but these are other things. Some ladies even look at themselves and like, so this is my body, I'm going to submit it to this person forever. They need to walk their thoughts around some of these things, right? And you need to help them go through that process. So this man, I'll be submitted to this man all my life. Whether I am right or wrong, his decision stands. There are a couple of, it's weighty. So it's not just, oh, the Lord. See, I tell you, sometimes it's easy to say, okay, for some persons that have received the will of God, how many persons end up? But there are also other factors, there are also other matters, which the basic is, it is God's will. Fine, perfect. One hurdle is out of the way. The next thing is the other questions.
Okay. I think it is his network. I'm going to read a comment. It's coming hot from my WhatsApp. This man is talking has sense. Like people never see it from this point of view. They just think it's easy to say yes. Let me give you people a picture. By the grace of God, the Lord is helping me personally, right? And I walk up to this sister and I told her my intentions. We have known for good number of years, and I tell you my intentions that okay, see, and then this sister, just as the point that he has made, very valid point. Personally, I am not a patient person at all. I am not a patient person. I mean, in that sense, because I mean, I feel no. Please don't fight me. Don't fight me, because I feel that, in as much as before I walk up to a lady, I would have talked to my spiritual head, get confirmations here and there, here and there, here and there. I also understand that a lady needs to settle, and there are ladies that they need to convince themselves first about this thing. How do I start viewing this person? How do I start doing that? How do I start doing that? So that process can take long. Mercy, sister Mercy, I saw the expression on your face. So let's hear you. What do you want to say?
Exactly your question.
Regarding what he has just said and what I have put out.
Okay, I feel patience, as you said, patience is a virtue and it's part of the nature of love. So if you intend going into relationship, you need to learn patience, and also you need to consider the sister, maybe the timing too. It might be that moment you met her, she might have little family challenges or personal challenges she wants to figure within her own life. It's wise that you consider the sister and wait a bit, but don't just wait as unwise. You should be circumspect. You should not just wait till like for even when you're waiting for, you're just waiting. and then each time you try to have a conversation with her, you guys end up fighting. This thing is something you should see a future in view. And if she's not giving you a future in view, and you feel like you cannot wait, as you said, you don't have patience in this regard, then you move ahead. Relationship is dynamic. It's you get someone that will work with you with every attribute you have in yourself as a human being very well. So you should be patient when it's necessary, but do it with wisdom. Don't just wait. You're waiting for donkey years, not knowing when she's going to give you a reply. I feel communication is very important. If brother comes your way and you feel he's mature enough, you feel you should there is God is saying something about him. You make him understand. Okay, this is what I have. This is the particular period I'm into, and I don't mind if you can wait. Fine. If you cannot wait, you move ahead. Be very open. There's no need keeping them, just piling them up, and they are just there, not knowing their fate. And you think some sisters see that smartness or as you trying to play your cards well, but I feel it's not supposed to be so. As for a Christian sister, you should be open, you should be transparent, you should also consider the brother that he's human, and the brother should also consider the sister. Yes, that's all.
Fantastic. Fantastic. As we are gradually coming to a close, someone just wrote me. He said, I beg, we now go they talk this relationship matter every Sunday. As we round up, Shadrach, yes, I've already asked you, you're not in a relationship. Someone is saying, I beg, ask Didas Carlos why he never married. Do you want to answer that or should we pass?
Is that Ben Shafa?
Just answer the question or we pass.
Let's pass.
Okay. So let's round up. I would have asked a question, but I think we're going to stay long on this. Maybe we'll just reschedule and then meet up with that. However, let me go to the YouTube. I think YouTube people are parrying. People are saying, read my comments. Okay. Someone is saying that do you lose conviction? That's the first question by Otokpa Juliet. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing it well. And she's saying you cannot get the conviction and lose it because you are not yet convinced. If you are losing it up and down, then it's emotions, not convictions, sir. I think she's responding to Shedrack that if you are losing interest, it's not conviction. Then Mame Bev says, such an interesting conversation. I love it. Very real. And many young Christians are really struggling with these challenges. Well done. Thank you so much. Let's go to Facebook. What are the Facebook people saying? Someone is saying that I'm learning from this show. Fantastic. So if you are watching us from YouTube, from Facebook, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. There are so many content you're going to listen. And I must thank our guests sincerely. Myself, I'm already answering that. Someone is asking me the question, sir, you get babe, Abi, you no get babe. Pass, that's not what we're discussing now. So as we as we round up, Didas Carlos, have you ever walked away from a proposal you made because the lady is taking too long?
Let's pass.
Okay. So, Dr. Blessing, have you
Yes, sir.
kept a man waiting and he loses interest and he left? Have you done that? Or has that happened to you or someone around you?
No. No, someone around me, of course, but I think that it is wrong. I think that it is not, it is mean to keep a guy waiting for long. And I have scriptures to back that up. I think that when Naomi and Ruth, when Ruth was based on the instruction that Naomi gave her when she went to Boaz and all those things happened, then there was something Naomi told me, and what she said was that that Naomi should rest because she knows that Boaz is an honorable man. He will not he will not rest until there is a conclusion to the matter, until there is a resolve or until a conclusion has been got concerning the matter. And I think that that's what every lady, that's the mindset every lady should have. There are guys that will come to me asking, I won't even tell my father in the Lord because I know that this guy doesn't pass. I know my own destiny. I know where I'm headed. And I know that this man, we are not headed the same way. There's no need to check with my father in the Lord. I have discernment. I will tell the guy almost immediately, sir, I don't see this going anywhere. I'm sorry. But for cases when you there's a possibility, you've been discussing with this guy for a while, you people have been friends, or the guy has been around you for a while, you should be able to see by the faith that you're supposed to be friends. At least, so that when he now comes and asks me, what I'll do is rest, and I'll allow God to rest until God speaks to me. And if I'm doing that sincerely and I'm asking the Lord, God, concerning this matter, many people will just ask me and now ask their friends because they feel like it's easier to hear the voice of the Lord from friends. Yes, sometimes when your emotions are in there, you may not be able to hear on time. But it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be sincere enough under the Lord to ask. So I'm not the kind of person that will put anybody beyond 3. And
Okay, I think network is not really kind to us today. Okay, I think her point has been made. I love the illustration she brought about Naomi and Ruth. She says, "I know he's a very honorable man. He will get to the end of the matter." As we round up, I would like to have our final thoughts. But before then, I just saw a comment on YouTube. Let me read it to you. We're making this whole thing sound like God molded one specific person for someone. And if you don't marry that one person, you have missed it in life. Is that the case? I think,
No,
I
sir.
think,
Let me just say it clearly. There's no one person for one specific person. I think there's no debate there for me, and it's
I think it will be another question for another time because we have exhausted almost 2 hours now. I think it is a
yeah.
good base for us to come
To
again some
next,
other time.
yeah.
So let's hear our final thoughts. Mrs. Nangba, let's hear your final thought as we bring this to a close.
Okay, thank you very much. This has been very interesting, even for me. So, finally, I would say that there is not a particular pattern for these things. They are very dynamic, so they work in different ways. But some of the things that Mr. Obaka pointed out, some of those fears he pointed out, there are things that people don't have the literal words to express, but there are fears that go on inside ladies. They may not have the right words to say, okay, this is what I'm going through, this is what I'm going through, this is what I'm going through. So I think that's very legit. It's a serious issue. Also, okay, let's conclude. The topic is, how long should a brother wait? I think you can wait. No, we know how to. Brothers know how to wait. They just, so I feel like if you really are convinced about a sister, you should wait. You should wait. Except, like Mercy said, Sister Mercy, like she said, if you are seeing that this thing might not lead anywhere, because sometimes the signs are very obvious, we just choose to ignore them. If you are seeing that this thing might not lead anywhere per se, you can now gradually, withdraw. You don't just say, oh, I'm not interested. You just gradually withdraw. So I don't think I'll end with saying, I don't think there should be a fixed time that, okay, this is when the lady should answer, this is when the lady should not answer. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. No, don't worry. Everybody will get their final thoughts. Mercy Yakubu, what is your final thoughts on these?
My final thought on this is that for every brother that intends to get married, every matured Christian brother that wants to get married and approaches his sister, he should be wise enough to go back to God occasionally to ask him if she's still the one. Because even if the sister accepts the relationship, at the course of the relationship is requires that you consistently ask God if that person is the right person for you, or he has moved on, or he wants you to sort out some things about your life before you guys continue. Something like that. So, and for the sister, she should not keep the brother for too long. Brothers are really passing through a lot. I have a friend of mine that he really complains about our agenda. He feels ladies are just unnecessarily delaying brothers, which to an extent I agree, because if you were to put yourself in their shoes, you wouldn't do that. If a brother asks you out, pray about it. When you get your conviction, tell him. Don't keep him for too long. And if you feel he's not the one, you still pray. And even if you just pray and then God still tells you no, like well for me, let me use myself as an example. At a particular point in my life that brothers keep coming and I keep on asking God, is this the one? At times look as if it's going to work. But deep down I know what I kept hearing was wait. And when the right person came, I knew he was the one. And there was this peace I got, there was this clarity I got about him, and then with the conviction that he was the one. So you should know your timings. You should be able to communicate well with anybody that comes your way. And then for the brother, if the wait is taking too long, you go back to God. And I'm sure God will answer you. And if you feel you cannot even go back to God, then you just keep on one side and rest. Then buy a bottle of Coke and drink and just rest. Thank you.
Rest in the name of Jesus. Okay. Didaskalos, your final thoughts.
Okay, for me, I'll talk as a researcher now, because if I talk as a pastor, we've seen a lot. I'm telling you the truth, I've seen a lot in relationships recently. There's a lot to talk about, but from my observation, because for me, some of these church trends I observe, I analyze, I want to call for objectivity. I feel both brothers and both sisters are not objective in their choices. This thing was not supposed to be rocket science. Let's not deny the fact that there is an attack on relationships, serious attack on that institution. I will always say this. I've noticed our parents who were less spiritual than us have workable marriages and relationships. Some of them didn't get to know each other. Maybe your dad just went to Lagos, he blew. He called home and said, as I'm coming back for Christmas, I want to marry a fine wife for me. These things worked better than us, that today God leads us. We say we saw visions and all of that. And it's been a worry for me. And in part of my analysis, I noticed that we are not objective. So I want Christians to be more objective in their choices, to be more objective in what they want, and to be more objective in their responses. Then lastly, for me, principles and practices are almost at the same level with your leading. So God should lead you, say yes. If you don't keep the principle and the right practices, that thing will crash. So I want to encourage our listeners, let's go and build around principles and build around the practices that make this thing work, which I believe in subsequent time we'll look into it. Thank you so much.
Okay. Dr. Blessing, yes, your final thoughts. You're mute. Oh my god. Just on mute. We can't hear you, Dr. Blessing. We can't hear you.
Is it possible you unmute her as the host? Is that possible on this platform?
Let me check. No, I can't. You are mute. We can't hear you. Unmute. Oh my goodness. Can somebody write her and let her know? I can't mute. I can't unmute her here. Doctor, can you hear me? Okay. Okay. All right. Mrs. Victor, yes, your final thoughts. Or I've asked you already? Okay, I think I've asked. Okay, it is remaining the doctor and oh my goodness. Okay. All right. So as we round up, uh YouTube people are saying yes, we should keep that for the next discussion. And Facebook people have been quiet, they've just been laughing and enjoying themselves here. Okay, so we have Mr. Obaka. So yes, sir, can you give us your final thoughts? Your final thoughts. Oh my goodness. Network is okay. While we wait for them, I want to thank uh you amazing guest for your wisdom, for your knowledge, for sharing your experience with me and this wonderful audience. I think we have a discussion for next time. Has God created one person? Did God just create one person for another? Because believe you me, I have seen a brother that told a sister, if you don't accept my proposal, you will never marry again. Uh, so all these holy brothers, they just threaten sisters anyhow, and then some of them just make it look as though if you don't marry them, you will never make it in life again. I have an opinion about that. I totally think it's wrong. It's just why using your anointing to intimidate a daughter of Zion. Because Abraham, when Eliezer said, what if she's not willing to come? The lady must be willing. Would she see her future with you? So, coming back to our topic, to be very honest, I am of the opinion that a brother should wait as long as the sister is willing to take her time. I know, but don't keep a brother waiting unnecessarily. But I mean, if you have a conviction, you have a conviction that Jesus will change your story. Are you going to change your mind because it has not come through? Just as just as someone mentioned, to be honest, love is, I think, while I was talking to my aunt concerning a particular story, she told me, she said, if you love this sister, if you are sure this is the sister God has told you, he said, my brother, wait. However, I am also of the opinion with Sister Mercy, don't keep a brother waiting. Do not keep a brother waiting. Perhaps,
You
perhaps that is why Didas Carlos has not yet married. Perhaps the sister is keeping him waiting for too long. I'm going to come up with a placard that. Okay, I think Mr. Obaka is here. The network is bad. We need to go now. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you so much, this amazing guest. I am so great. In fact, I know I'm meeting some of you for the very first time. I think we need to connect. And I think I need to bring you people to my podcast properly. Let's have this discussion on a very close note. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you, everybody. People from Facebook, how are you doing? Maybe you have a comment, you can leave that. We'll come back to it. People on YouTube, yes. So Juliet is also rounding up by saying, I do not believe in keeping anyone for too long, both brothers and sisters. I love that. I love that. Justice for brothers. Don't keep us waiting for too long. And sisters, brothers should wait for as long as it will take. So thank you, everybody. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like. Make sure you share. And we're going to plan another live broadcast again, so that we'll come and discuss, has God created just one brother for just one sister? And then we'll have the this wonderful guest. And I must say, I am really grateful for hosting you people. It's a pleasure for me. Great people, amazing people. Thank you so much. God bless you. So thank you everybody for watching. This is LBJ's Corner, the podcast that pertains to life and godliness. We have episodes on my salvation story. So I'm capturing salvation story of different people from different walks of life. It has been amazing so far. A lot of feedbacks are coming in. So please do make sure you watch it. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Share it to your family, friends, foe. The sister you are wooing, this platform is the best you can share to her to prove to her that you really love her and you want to build her capacity. Thank you so much. And from our guests, can we hear bye bye, bye bye, bye bye from everybody?
right, everyone. Thanks
Good
for
night.
coming in. It was a wonderful time.
All right. Good night, everybody. Bye bye.
All right. Good night. Bye.